I'm saying it's just because they built that fucking library, it's gonna make everything go up, and that's what it is, and it's gonna make the taxes go up. People thought having that Obama library was gonna be something great, but black people can't afford that shit. So by that coming over there, this is gonna make all the black people leave because once the taxes go up, they can't pay the taxes.
Because like those libraries, like who do people think pay for those libraries? Like who like.
They don't know that. They just think it's supposed to just come in and just go sit there and look pretty. Black people don't be knowing. And
they don't know that place is gonna be funded off of taxpayers' dollars.
Off your money.
You know what I'm saying? So and if y'all can't keep up with that, if y'all can't keep up with the upkeep of that library, well, y'all gonna be moving out, and other people are gonna be purchasing property, whether they're gonna be living there or not. So I definitely think that's a conversation that black people need to be kind of privy of. I'm talking about gentrification, right?
Yeah. That's what's happening because Woodline, those houses you talking about, those all white people live in those bitches. They live right off Stony Island, and I know that it's like a half a block. It's literally a half a block of new townhouses. Then the other half is old fucked up crack houses. Fucked up shit's crazy. It's literally like that, just a half a block.
Oh wow!
Isn't that amazing?
If you're in a position where you're trying to purchase a house, which is now. It's damn near getting to the point where it's now or never. You know what I mean? There's some conversations going on with the way what is Joe Biden planning on doing? How to what's it? I heard this $1 million number being.
He was trying to come up with a program to help first-time homeowners get up to like $500,000 assistance, like to help purchase buy a house because the housing market is about to go up to a point where people are not going to be able to buy these houses. Like they talking about hitting niggas with like 60 to 70, possibly 100-year mortgages. That's unheard of. Okay,
so that sounds like some of your kids have to deal with. You know,
I mean, you gotta look at the interest that they putting on the money is about to be so high. It's gonna fucking take you 100 years to pay it off.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. That's the problem. You know, it's fucked with what they're talking about. It's the interest. You know what I'm saying. The interest is just gonna be too ridiculous. And they talking about the possibility of us not even to be a homeowner nation anymore. We just gonna become renters. If you look at people that's buying all the property, it's not even people that are American citizens. These are people from overseas, and they buy up all the property and they're gonna rent it out to you. Like when you see, like when you go to out of town, you go to these places, the Airbnb neighborhoods. Those are owned by people in Japan.
This is going to be a video from this brother's called Earn Your Leisure. They specify a lot of money-making strategies amongst that's going on in America. If you want to learn how to make money digitally and stuff like that, let these guys be like your introduction into that world, you know. And I think as Black Americans, we are going to have to learn how to diversify the way we make money, especially with the trying times that's ahead of us. I mean, y'all kind of see how the economics is going, like the housing market, food prices. Like, what isn't going up? You know what I'm saying? It's like it seems like the only thing that's not going up these days is TV prices. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's really, really important for us to diversify the way we make money, the ways that we make money, and Earn Your Leisure is a one-stop shop for a lot of things regarding that nature. Stock market, finance, you name it. But here they are having a very, very important conversation about the real estate market. They have a young lady from Chicago. As a matter of fact, they are actually holding an event in Chicago and speaking to Chicagoans on how to take advantage or make the most of the housing market. So let's take it out. Let's see what they're talking about.
Investment tips for first-time home buyers and investors.
All right, so what's up, Chicago? It feels good to be having this conversation with my brothers in my home city. So definitely, one of the number one things that I talk to folks about. First of all, how many people in here are homeowners? Make some noise.
Shout out to y'all.
All right. How many people out here own investment properties?
Shout out to y'all. Okay, I love it.
Yeah, okay. And how many future homeowners and investors do we have?
Make some noise.
Everybody. Okay, cool. Good stuff. So
no
one of the
buzz.
number one things that I always talk about is house hacking, right? It is not a new strategy by any means, but because of social media, house hacking has just become more popular over the past couple of years. And essentially what house hacking means is that you buy a property that could be a single family home or a multifamily, and you rent out other areas of that property where you can actually make money and it can pay your mortgage and you can live for free, essentially, right? And so if it's a single family home, you can rent out rooms, you can rent out the garage, you can rent out the shed. There's a number of different areas. You can rent out the basement, right? If you have an attic, if you have an in-law suite. But if it's a multi-unit, thankfully in the Chicagoland market, we have an abundance of multifamily properties, and you can get into it and purchase a 2 or 3 or 4 unit property. And so a lot of clients that I work with, they're like, how do I get started in real estate? Now, living in a multi-unit may not be for everyone, but if your goal is to build generational wealth through investing in real estate, I would absolutely advise that you purchase a multi-unit as your first property, because you can put very little to no money down, right? So there are programs out there that are 0%, you have 3.5%, and you have 5% down programs where you can get into a multi-unit. Where as an investor, they're looking at 20, 25 to 30% down in regards to starting your investment portfolio.
What's some of those?
So first quick question here. She mentions this concept called house hacking. What's some of your thoughts regarding house? Like, do y'all understand what she meant by what house hacking is and stuff like that?
Yeah, I understand when people have
what's your thoughts kind of surrounding like that ideology, that strategy?
I mean, that's just another way to make the housing market go up, where you can just maximize taking more money from people. But I wouldn't like to live with a group of bunch of strangers, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But some people have to do that because the housing market is too high. So one person can't support the rent by themselves. So
that's my first time ever hearing that. Like, I guess that phrasing. It's a cool idea. I personally wouldn't do it. I couldn't, like you said, I couldn't have a stranger live with me. But in terms of like making some money, it makes sense. Like, yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. What's the term again? House hacking?
House hacking, yeah.
House hacking. Yeah, I ain't never heard that one before.
I mean, they just put a term on it. I haven't seen it. Like, they do that in California and New York. Yeah, because the shit's just so high. It's been going on for a while.
You talking about like how people like living like how they live in like dormitories?
Yeah, it's just everybody get a room. It's just everybody get a room and share the bathroom and the kitchen.
Yeah, that shit's smoke. That's dead. But I mean, for people who want to do that, I mean, that's good for them. But I couldn't do that one.
Yeah, it's definitely, yeah. I kind of feel the exact same way, especially when it comes to strangers. Like, we know, like the Latino community, they don't charge each other rent, right? But they do have systems within them, within their families, right, where they allow multiple families to stay in one household. You know what I mean? Especially when it's big enough. But like, I just don't know. Like in the black community, that's kind of on the fringe side. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like in my life experience, and I'd have a very expensive family. And like, right, Justin, we don't have a lot of family members that kind of do like that family shacking in one house, right? There was one time where, I had like an uncle staying with me, you know what I'm saying? Which was, it worked for his time. It was easier for my mother to, pay the bills and stuff like that. But as I said, it's just something that's pretty fringe in our community. But we have to understand that, right, that when it comes to what she mentioned as building generational wealth, right? That's a pretty decent strategy for keeping the cost of things low. And I think, I don't know, for the most part, on paper, it's a good idea, right? But in practice, when it comes to clashing with people's personalities and stuff like that, and egos and things like that, and like, I mean, the simple concept of, oh man, it's too many men in this house, like, who's gonna be like the head honcho or the alpha and stuff like that. Where stuff like that start to flare up. So, but it's unfortunate that we can't, that we don't feel comfortable with doing something like this. But I mean, I'm just saying, on paper, it makes perfect sense, and I think we all can kind of agree to that, right? But I mean, shit, how you feel about another dude having jurisdiction or some pull in your own household. You feel me?
I mean, yeah, I can see why it don't work for us. Like we aren't like wired like that. Like if we got a bunch of people living with us, somebody's in like a down bad situation. Like the goal is for them to move out.
Yeah, not to stay.
Yeah, you're like we're not
ain't
staying.
that something right?
Like, we're looking out for you. This is a favor, but this is 100% only temporary. I don't know. I guess we just can't look at it like the Latino community, like you said. Like they don't care. Like it could be a lot of them in the house. They trying to get it together, but we're not doing that. Like you gotta get your own.
I mean, more than likely, if it's a bunch of Latinos in the home, more than likely they're related. If they complete, like I don't feel like
most of their family. Most times you're supposed to basically like you're supposed to have a little bit more leniency for your family, but
I mean,
black people don't. They be like, look, all right, nigga, I gave you some time. You need to figure this shit out.
but it's like
we ain't gonna do this for too long.
Yo, even the kids.
But it's like with strangers, it's like it can only work like in a dormitory, like if you're on your own and you just link up with a group of people. That's the only way I feel like that could work. Like if you're on your own and like, but like if
they're not talking about causing maximizing on like general. They just trying to like overpay people so they can maximize on their
Are
wealth.
you talking about people like her, right?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose. Of it. So when you do the house rent thing, like people can put outrageous things for rent. There is no cap on rent. If you believe your shit,
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
You can go over the market if you want to.
If you find somebody dumb enough to want to pay that shit, and you have like a nice area or whatever, they're gonna pay that shit, and you can say you want $3,000 to $4,000, and you're gonna charge each room $700, $800, whatever the case may be, to get that money just from one room. But you're not gonna get that from one person. So you set that house up just like that to be like this and have rules and tell this is how people want to live. And that shit, like, no, that's just for you to rob, nigga, because your mortgage is probably not that. That's you just gonna pocket the rest, whatever it is, pay your mortgage, and you're gonna pocket the rest. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. So yeah, there's definitely like don't get me wrong here, like nothing against this lady right here, nothing against anybody that agrees with this ideology of making money and things like that. But this is very much so a capitalistic strategy. You know what I mean? This is the way of like making money to make your life easier. You know what I'm saying? And they'll get into like ideas of like living for free. You know what I mean? And then where you don't have to contribute to anything, we don't have to go to a job and like do the same slave labor that person that one of your tenants is gonna have to participate in to pay your rent. You know what I mean? So like, but to anybody can do whatever they want with their energy, with their time, with their resources and stuff like that. And it is interesting. I mean, you do bring up a good point as far as, hey, these people aren't trying to help people. They're not even trying to necessarily help their next generation kids. This is just something that they want to just flat out benefit from, and then just do what they want with that money.
Yeah. Like, doesn't serve a real purpose. They just trying to buy Gucci and Louis Vuitton and nice cars. Like I be seeing niggas that be selling real estate talking about they be buying $200,000-$300,000 chains. I'm not.
That's what I'm saying, and yeah, that's just kind of that's a huge problem actually. But
and they tell you how much they be charging rent for motherfuckers. You be like, bro, you're terrible.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. I don't think that's much. So all right, so let's see what else they talking about here.
Programs.
Yeah, so NACA, shout out to Dre.
Shout out to my guy Dre. What up? Dre in the building.
Yeah, so NACA is a great program. I actually have some clients in the crowd who have also closed with NACA. And that program is no money down, no closing costs. We're talking about the interest rates nowadays and how they just keep going higher and higher and higher. You can actually go in and buy your interest rate down, and then just ultimately across the board, on average, their rates are about 1.5% to 2.5% lower than what the national average is going to be. So NACA is a great program that you guys can use to purchase multi-units or just to purchase your first property in general. Now, the thing about NACA, right? So there's a lot of different misconceptions. There's a lot of conversation around NACA. It is a phenomenal program, but if you are on a time frame, I don't believe that NACA is the program for you. So like if you got to be out of your place in 4 months, NACA is not the program for you. right? And I don't believe there's enough people like saying that. And people get started, and then they get in the process, and then they realize they're not getting approved for maybe 12 to 18 months.
Wow.
Right? But it's a phenomenal program to the buyer. And so if you have not purchased a property yet, but you know you want to purchase a property sometime in the near future, then I would say absolutely everyone should start that program now.
Yeah.
All right? FHA, 3.5% down. FHA and conventional loans, government-backed mortgages. And I don't know if you guys have seen on social media lately, but we have been talking about it and posting it like crazy. So FHA, like I mentioned, 3.5% down, anything from 1 to 4 units. The conventional product has changed their program from 5% down for 2, 3, and 4 units.
That's amazing.
For conventional, okay? And why that's a big deal is because in Cook County, the limits for FHA to purchase up to a 4 unit is $900,000. So you can go and purchase a property for $900,000 and only put 3.5% down if that's FHA. And for conventional, the Cook County loan limit is $1.4 million, and you only have to put 5% down.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Reshauna, there's nothing like free money, though. Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about some grant programs, because grants is something that we don't have to pay back. I know that from, being a student and having student loans. We always want to get the grant money. So what type of grants are being offered here in Illinois, specifically in Chicago?
Yes, absolutely want to talk about 2 major programs. But before I talk about that, I also want to make sure that I don't forget to mention VA loans. Do we have any veterans in the building?
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. Definitely shout out to y'all. And if you have any family members who are veterans, let me tell you, call them up and say, hey, did you use your VA loan? Because if not, we need to go and buy a 4 unit. VA is another loan program that is absolutely no money down. And there are certain tax benefits, too, to where you can have your property taxes reduced significantly if you have access to the VA loan. So definitely make sure that you guys utilize that VA loan, because you can actually purchase a property with no money down. You can get 100% financing. You can refinance out of that property into a conventional loan, and you can move out of that property and use that VA loan again. Did y'all catch that?
Again. Yeah, that's amazing. One more again.
So in regards to the program, IDA, you guys write this down, IHDA, it is Illinois Housing Development Authority, and
with Patrick and Leslie, they were able to get some down payment assistance through Illinois League, and we could layer that money with the IDA grant. He could get $14,000 in down payment assistance, so that's huge.
Over the past 5 years, nearly 6,500 working-class families have capitalized on historically low housing prices and interest rates, accessing $724 million in our mortgages and down payment assistance to buy homes, creating more than 3,200 jobs and pumping more than $150 million back into Illinois' economy.
The assistance program has made it incredible.
IDA is probably one of the most commonly used state grants that I've been using throughout my career. I've had a number of different clients close with IDA loans, and that is up to $10,000 in down payment assistance. You can go right online. You can Google IHDA, IDA, and there's income limits and credit score requirements and things like that. But all of the program qualifications are there, and that is the most commonly used grant that I've seen throughout the years.
So that's $10,000. All I gotta do is fill out the application. Hopefully, I meet the requirements, and it's granted to me.
Yep, up to. Yep. Yeah, and you don't have to repay it.
This is a question we asked Don Peebles.
So, have y'all ever heard of these any of these grant programs? Any other grant programs that you left out? What do y'all think about this part of the conversation?
I mean, I heard of the CH one they was talking about. They give you like up to 20,000 grants, But you gotta have already a loan in the process, and they will assist with the down payment of like the percentages. They get you up to like $20,000.
Mm-hmm. Is it any strings attached that you're aware of at all? Or?
No, you just gotta make a certain type of money. Other than that, no, it's not really too hard to get. You just gotta already have your you already gotta have a house that you're looking at and having like a process going.
Oh, pretty good.
Once you got the process going,
I actually like that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's more than that 10. They give up like the other $20,000.
Oh, you said 20. Oh, yeah, she did say 10 grand, didn't she? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with these programs she was speaking on, but from the perspective of which she explained it, like they sound pretty good. Like that sound like some people should look into.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're in a position where you're trying to purchase a house, which is now. It's damn near getting to the point where it's now or never. You know what I mean? There's some conversations going on with the way what is Joe Biden plan on doing? How to what's it? I heard this $1 million number being.
He was trying to come up with a program to help first-time homeowners get up to like $500,000 assistance, like to help purchase buy a house, because the housing market is about to go up to a point where people are not going to be able to buy these houses. Like they talking about hitting niggas with like 60 to 70 to possibly 100-year mortgages. That's unheard of. Okay.
So that sounds like some of your kids have to deal with. You know.
I mean, you gotta look at the interest that they putting on the money is about to be so high. It's gonna fucking take you 100 years to pay it off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. It fucked with what they're talking about. It's the interest. You know what I'm saying? The interest is just gonna be too ridiculous. And they talking about the possibility of us not even to be a homeowner nation anymore. We just gonna become renters. If you look at people that's buying all the property, it's not even people that are American citizens. These are people from overseas, and they buy up all the property and they're gonna rent it out to you. Like when you see, like when you go to out of town, you go to these places, the Airbnb neighborhoods. Those are owned by people in Japan, Italy, Europe. There's not even people that are American citizens, and they capitalizing on our shit and making us all renters. You know what I'm saying?
It's like that sounds like a exchange of wealth from one nation to the next. And that's what ultimately is it really is bad for our current
Donald
economy.
Trump was talking about he was going to stop that shit, and everybody was getting mad at him about it. But it makes sense. They're dominating our market. They are controlling our market.
Isn't that like regular mathematics? And this is not an endorsement for Donald Trump or anything like that. But I'm just saying it's literally it's simple mathematics. If our money is getting transferred over there, then what does that leave us with? It leaves us with a weakened economy, right?
Yep.
And we need to worry about, even us as Black Americans, we should be worrying about the economy, because if we're in a nation, if we're occupying a nation where the economy is trash, then we need to consider net migration. If you, in my opinion, anybody else want to add to this grant program conversation?
No, it does sound like something worth looking into.
Yeah, for sure.
It does.
Seriously. So, I wasn't making a point, wasn't I? but yeah, like it's getting to a point where it's now or never. You know what I mean? You have to. You really need to be purchasing as soon as possible. That means getting your grind. That government is not going to bail you out. I know we are heavy advocates for like reparations on this platform. We do recognize that the government owes us a lot, but the fact of the matter is, government is not giving us shit. It's not going to happen anytime soon. So don't wait for anything. We don't expect this California plan of people purchasing property for $1. Don't expect that to reach your side of the states. Act now. Do what you got to do now and prepare for the worst. And because it literally is heading that direction. So let's see. It's not gonna be too much longer on this. We're not gonna play the entire video, but so check out what they else got to say.
Last year, and I want to ask you now, what are like the 3 hottest areas to invest in Chicago or Illinois?
So, what'd you say?
219.
Right. So everyone knows about the Obama Library that's coming. Shout out to the Obama Library. Shout out to Woodline. It is coming in 2025. That must be a West Side.
Damn.
But
oh, this is gonna be done. I don't think
that
it
must
don't
be a
look like
West
it's gonna
Side
be done.
over there booing. But so Woodline, actually statistically proven, has been one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the country. The home values have doubled in less than 24 months, right? So if you guys drive by, you can see the library is coming. I don't know what phase it's in, but that thing is going up quick. The expected delivery date is 2025.
Okay.
So that's a good area that I would say to invest in. Lawndale is a great area to invest in. West Siders. See, I'm gonna give y'all some love. Lawndale, Austin. Another program that I'm gonna talk about is MMRP.
Something I could build long term, and it's something I could leave for my son. If it wasn't now, it wasn't never going to be later, because most of the houses were going up in prices.
Make sure you guys write that down. That is Micro Market Recovery Program. That is a grant program that I've been working with clients to get since 2018. That program started off as a $15,000 non-repayable down payment assistance grant, and it started out in 11 different areas across the city of Chicago. That grant program has since increased to a $30,000 down payment assistance program, and they have also increased it to 20 different areas of Chicago. And so, you mentioned like what are 3 different areas. Like, people always want to talk about the crime that's going on in Chicago, the terrible things that are going on in Chicago, and just all of the bad that is about Chicago. But what they don't tell you is that there's an entire new zip code being developed in Chicago, right? It is a multi-billion-dollar development called the 78. It is 60678. Right across from Roosevelt on Roosevelt and Clark, from the Target, right? All of that land. Who knows about the 78? All right, okay. So, if Chicago is so terrible and there's all these terrible things that happen, why is there so much money going into the city, right? There's a lot of different infrastructure, right? There's a lot of things being built. There's a lot of major headquarters that are here, and there's just a lot of money that's going into the city, and not only on the residential side, but on the commercial side as well. So again, Austin, Lawndale, Chatham, Grand Crossing, Gresham.
Write these down.
Like, these are the number of different programs that are even on that MMRP list. So if you guys go online, again, that's the Micro Market Recovery Program. You have to have a property identified and be under contract, and you have to have a home buyer certificate passed. It's just an online class. You go online and you take it, and your lender can give you the link for that. And then if you're purchasing a multi-unit, you have to take a landlord certification class, which is also online.
No, go ahead, keep going.
But yeah, those are a number of different programs and a number of different areas.
I was going to ask about the time sensitivity, right? Because we were talking backstage, and we were like, people need to know about it because these programs and these grants, sometimes they come and they go.
Yep.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I think that's why it's important to be plugged in with a team and people who have resources, because when these programs come and go, like, not to, pop my stuff, but I was awarded the top realtor from the Chicago Department of Housing to utilize this grant.
That's amazing. That's something to brag about.
Yeah, so
What?
to be the number 1 realtor who has been an advocate for closing, these grant programs, with people in our communities, right? And so because of that, whenever there's money that is available, I'm one of the ones that gets the call first. And that.
Okay. So, yeah, just want to kind of squeeze in the part with her, letting everybody know that she is kind of the real deal here. Like, she, what did she say? She's like the one of the top realtors in Chicago. So she got some, she has some knowledge on it, and she's been recognized for that. I think she does bring us some pretty good points and some pretty useful information for aspiring realtors and stuff like that. Regarding like what's the hot spots in the Chicagoland area to invest primarily in. I know she mentioned that area where they building the Barack Obama Library and stuff like that. One question I did kind of have from earlier was, what do y'all think about regarding the strategies of monetizing homes and stuff like that? Like, she had mentioned this idea of renting out a room and stuff like that, rent out a shed, tenants, and like the process of learning to be a landlord and educating your tenants on how to like different grants and programs that can assist them with their payments and stuff like that, and also got into like different type of mentalities as far as what they personally do to make sure those bills are paid. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like any just general thoughts is kind of about what you kind of seen from what she was kind of saying and anything like that.
Well, to me, it seemed like it's a well thought out strategy. Like it do seem like a solid way to make some money. Like I can't knock it, and she does seem to be rather successful with it. I don't know if it's just the image, but she does seem to have it down to a science. So if it works, it works.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I don't know, man. They keep talking like they know a lot, but I ain't like how they didn't want to talk about this recession cover. That's the worst time to buy property, because if a recession's supposed to start at the beginning of the new year, buying property and doing all these things is technically bad. Technically, when you try to do these things, and those people like her or him, they lose a lot of money when that shit happens.
Yeah, when the shit hit the fan, basically. Yeah, because if it gets to a point where how did that go? When it gets to a point where the recession and like economy just plummets so far down, people don't buy, right?
Yeah, they don't buy, and then people can't afford those high rents. You see what I'm saying? People gonna be like basically gonna lose their job, and you gonna have a bunch of people in your house not paying rent, and you still got to cover all the bills for all those properties.
Yeah.
So now that's coming out your money. If you have a lot of investments, therefore you're getting your money drained in a lot of different angles. If all your tenants go bad, you fucked.
And especially if you can't find somebody to take that load off your shoulders.
Because everybody in the plumbing, nobody's really making money,
and you're gonna be selling at a loss.
You're gonna you're gonna be going to bankrupt, and then the bank gonna take everything you own.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You're not gonna be able to pay for that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then because you live in a lifestyle, and then you got a house that you probably ain't paid for, and then you got other shit you ain't paid for. So you need a certain type of level of money to come in constantly. So if this recession or what's about to happen, like she said, those places she's saying buy it, yeah, you can buy over there, but you got to find an old house, and then you got to like build it up. But they even like over by my crib, houses are going for like 250. You could possibly get like 300,000 depending on what you sell it. But this still the hood. You see what I'm saying? It's just because they built that fucking library, it's gonna make everything go up, and that's what it is, and it's gonna make the taxes go up. People thought having that Obama library was going to be something great, but black people can't afford that shit. So by that coming over there, this is going to make all the black people leave, because once the taxes go up, they can't pay the taxes.
Because like those libraries, like who do people think pay for those libraries? Like who like.
They don't know that. They just think it's supposed to just come in and just go sit there and look pretty. Black people don't be knowing.
They don't know that place is gonna be funded off of taxpayers' dollars.
Off your money.
You know what I'm saying? So and if y'all can't keep up with that, if y'all can't keep up with the upkeep of that library, well, y'all gonna be moving out, and other people are gonna be purchasing property, whether they're gonna be living there or not. So I definitely think that's a conversation that black people need to be kind of privy of. I'm talking about gentrification, right?
Yeah. That's basically what's happening, because Woodline, those houses you talking about, those all white people live in those bitches. They live right off Stony Island, and I know that it's like a half a block. It's literally a half a block of new townhouses. Then the other half is old fucked up crack houses, fucked up shit's crazy. It's literally like that, just a half a block.
Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like we gotta definitely gotta be paying attention, because the way. This is gonna be a very brief history lesson here, because this is what I've been noticing. If anybody don't know what I mean by like gentrification, this is how it's technically going happening right now. Whether it's been done on intentionally or it isn't. This is just the reality of the situation. Right now, inner city Chicago is predominantly like Black Americans. When it gets to a point of these people consistently investing and building new things and essentially economically pushing black people out of downtown, guess who's going to be moving into these places? It's going to be people with money. You know what I mean? So like the strategy is push up the renovate, push black people out and push rich people into Chicago to essentially in a sense retake over downtown and inner city Chicago. So when Chicago as we know it now, which has maybe not predominantly black, but a huge density of black people living there, is going to be, I mean, these people are going to be pushed out, and wherever they go, who knows? You know what I'm saying? But if things kind of keep going the way that they're going, again, this gentrification process of pushing black people out of these communities and pushing and bringing in people with money who we don't have to talk about who all has the money in America. Obviously, we know who that is. These people are going to come in and live here or rent these properties out and then drain black people for whatever pennies and dimes that they have left. And then they're gonna just be annexed out. They essentially lost the game. But here at the Chicago Black Delegation podcast, we want to keep everybody up to date about what the strategy is, and then just kind of keep everybody focused on what's happening. And if you're not focused by now, you need this type of platform to remind you how serious it is, how serious it's going to get. Because this stuff is, as you said, like black people are strategizing now, and they put it on the internet now. There's people, the big wigs and people behind closed doors, behind the curtains. They don't have to get on front. They don't have to get on TV to talk about this stuff. They got the money to talk about it in private, and they've been talking about this stuff in private for decades now. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say it's too late now, but if you wait too long, you don't want to know what that feels like to be too late. Feel me? So anyway, if anybody doesn't have anything to kind of add, I just want just one last shout out to these brothers. Who are these guys again? Oh, the Earn Your Leisure podcast. Check them out on YouTube. We're not gonna play this entire video. It's a really long video, and it's we kind of been recording for a long time as it is. But they kind of talk about things regarding the temperature of the market a little bit. They go into other things as well. Definitely check this video out for yourself. And that's pretty much our stance on it, if I'm not mistaken.